I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know the game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Trick Nick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Good afternoon and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I'm your host, Managerial Man, and today again we have our JPL review and preview show. It promises to be a very interesting one, a lot of information, and we have some of the top coaches and assistant coaches who will be talking about their team's chances of winning the JPL this season. Or maybe they're not in it to win it, they're just in it, I don't know. Probably to get players to move out of Jamaica because maybe there's more money out of that. And also to get a feel from them how it feels to finally having the opportunity to have some games played on grass instead of the artificial surface. And so we're going to have them. We also have representatives from Mount Pleasant who will be here as well, and someone from the JPL, the committee that leads and organizes the league, to tell us about how the ticketing process will go for this week. And we'll also look at the table and look at the games and give our predictions as well. Of course, you know that if you're watching, always remember to like the video, make a comment. You may have a question that you want to ask. That's okay. We will also have an opportunity, provided with the opportunity for you to call in the second part of the show. All right, so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming on. Big thank you to our sponsors, Prestige Finance, lending a helping hand when you need it the most. Give them a call or text them at 876-884-7390. They are able to loan you up to 100,000 Jamaican dollars with no processing fee, same day processing, and 0 to 4% interest rate. Also, Launch Legacy, where they handle risk and seek legacy. This is the place to get your money to start working for you and stop working for money. So for all your personal insurance needs in Canada and the USA, visit them at launchlegacy.com or call or text 647-989-0782. All right, so let's welcome. I see the Molines manager in the comment section as well. Welcome, sir. But let's invite our very special guest this afternoon, Coach Eric Rademacher. I hope I got the pronunciation of the surname correct. Almost. Go ahead and give us the correct pronunciation, Coach Eric.
We're going to go with Coach Eric Rademakers.
What?
Well, we'll go with Coach Eric. We'll keep it simple.
Rademakers.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Rademark. And if you don't know, he's from Holland, and he also works at Campion College. You know, the great Campion College. He's a very good coach out there, but I don't know if you look at the record of Campion College, you'd believe that, but you can check the record at Arnett Gardens. Since he has been there with Paul Teague Davis, and you'll probably, raise the bar on him. Yeah. All right. We also have Mr. Rudolph Speed from Cavaliers, who are not playing like defending champions. They seem to be getting more red cards than goals that they're scoring, but we will hear from him what is the cause of that. we also heard through the grapevine that he may be getting back a very important piece to the puzzle from last season, coming back this season. I don't know, maybe he will tell us who that player is. If not, I'll probably tell you at the end of the show. But Coach Eric, welcome. Thanks again for being here. And I know Mr. Speed asked you a question in before we began, and you were actually answering. So I'm going to ask him to ask the question again, and so you can answer. So our guest, this or persons listening, can hear your answer or your response to that question. So go ahead, Mr. Speed. You had a question for him.
Well, I'll have to paraphrase because I don't remember what the question was. I was really saying in cheek. I was saying though that I noticed that Arnett is on the up, doing much better than last season, and what contributed to that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy people noticed, the work that we put in, and also that some of the results are following with that. But as I was saying earlier, it's really been a team effort. I think it was a great way for me to even get into the Premier League with a team that kind of had a fresh start. A lot of new players, some of the older players left, new coaching staff, and so you're a part kind of a rebuilding phase there, where it's been a pleasure to be a part of it. The focus in training, the communication with Coach Teague has been very good, and I'm sure it's been contributing to the better results compared to last season.
What was your acceptance in a community that is known to be very hard on their coaches, players, management?
Right. I mean, when the results are, or when there's improvement in results from before, it's a little bit easier to deal with the fans than, of course, when you're in a different position where you're performing below the expectations. So I think so far it's been great, to have the support from the people, knowing Arnett is a big community club, even though we don't really have the fans how I know they had it in the past. It's been good in the way they've been accepting me, and I think the entire new team, new coaching staff, even though Coach Teague not really new to the people there, so far we feel a lot of support.
Yeah, and that is true. So let me ask you a second question. Now, at the beginning of the season, you were leading the team because at least at the game. What was that experience like for you? Because this is the first time you would have led a team as the coach in the Premier League. What has the experience been like for you so far?
I mean, even coming back earlier on with the acceptance, how it goes in the beginning. I think football is football, and I think the persons involved in football, when you really study it and learn it and work in it every day, you kind of zone out the environment, and it's football same way. So even though, of course, it's at a higher level, you're going to have certain players that, are professional players. You have a broadcast, and it's televised. In the moment, in the pre-game talk, in the warming up, in those moments, you just turn back to what you know.
Okay. Are you still with us, Eric? I think you're muted. You're mute. Yeah.
Sorry, you guys can hear me again?
Yeah, we're hearing you now.
Okay, sorry about that. No, so it's been a nice experience apart from the 98 minute against Cavalier. That was you start your first game,
You
and
have, you have
you,
recovered,
you
man.
play
You have
against
recovered. You have recovered from
exactly,
that.
but when,
Yeah.
maybe it was helpful, when you start off on that last minute, we were motivated to really continue on a better note. But no, it's been a great experience. I really enjoy it.
How long have you been in Jamaica?
It makes about 7 years now. So
Because
I
I
spent the
noticed you.
first. Mhm.
Go ahead, go ahead. No,
I
I
spent the
noticed that
first
you
two
have
to
the
three years.
Jamaican.
Yeah.
I was saying I noticed that you
Sorry,
sound
I
like.
think there's a little
I
delay
was
there,
going to say that
but
some of the times you sound like a Jamaican. That's all I was. So you're
I think it
speaking.
contributed that the first few years when I was in Jamaica, I worked in hospitality. That's kind of where my degree is in, and a lot of communication has to happen to make sure everything runs smooth. And I think at that stage, I very much learned or still developed my English and learned the Jamaican accent over the whole English knowledge that I had already. And I know more people comment on it. You have some people that live here 20, 30 years and they still sound exactly like they come off the plane yesterday. But I guess I embrace it the way the accent has developed.
Yeah, and I mean, what are some of the things you have learned so far this season that you can take back to Campion College to so that we can probably see them in the semifinals or the finals of the Manning Cup or Walker Cup. What are some of the things you're learning at this level that you can bring back to Campion College?
So we actually, we progressed from just doing the camping program, and we have our own academy. So we actually have also players from outside. But when it comes to the camping program, which we still run as well, it's an environment where it's hard to compare with the Premier League. I think working with youngsters instead of senior players, a different approach is required. When you work with players where the majority have a goal to have fun and maybe go to college, get a scholarship, it's a different approach than when you have players who play to go pro, all of them, or to take a next step in their professional career. There's a different standard you have. There's a different way of communicating, different way of feedback. So there's definitely a lot I learned in from the Premier League. But I think most of it that I will use fit would really be for the higher academy teams, which are also filled with boys that we hold to a very high standard.
Okay, what's the name of the academy that you're connected to?
Kingston Football Academy.
Okay, okay. All right. So the other question is, were you surprised by any play on the Arnett Garden team? Maybe you watched them over the years, or you heard about them, but actually seeing them play, you probably said, I whoa, I didn't. Or is there anything you have seen in the league like you say, well, now that I'm up close and personal to it, I didn't realize that it was this good, it
Um,
was this fast, it was this slow, it was, intense.
I
Anything?
think maybe we even get to it a little bit more, but briefly on the field, the facility, I know the struggles that we have with the turf, but I do think football-wise is the best thing for our quality of football. So it's one of the things that I watched before, and I said, what if these players would play on turf? We see a different brand of football than from the previous years, which I think it does show when we play on the turf. Not just Arnett, but in general the teams. There's more completion in passes. There's less interceptions, less turnovers, because there's less of an external factor that plays a role in it. But having that said, I am pleasantly surprised by the quality of the players. A lot of course I can talk about Arnett. I work with them every day, and when I see the technical talent, the physical talent, even the commitment that they put in, it's at the level or even higher than I was expecting it to be. But of course, there's other areas where you realize there is a big gap when it comes to the professional world where we all want to be in, like the English Premier League, the Champions League, and there's a big gap. But I think quality wise of the players, talent wise, even as I say, their technical ability, It's very good. It's been very good. Yeah, I'm happy with the quality of the players that I've had in front of me so far.
Awesome, awesome. All right, we're gonna come back to you, Eric, but we're going to try and get in touch with Mr. Um, David Galloway from Mount Pleasant because they are actually uh, hosting the games this weekend. I
Right.
think so. For persons who don't know, they have adjusted the fixtures. Previously, it would have been Harborview versus Humble Lion as the 3:15 game. That has been changed to the 1 o'clock game. And the Mount Pleasant versus Waterhouse game will be the 3:15 game. So Humble Lion and Harborview will play at 1, and Mount Pleasant and Waterhouse will play at 3:15. And so we're going to give you some ticketing information and all of that. But Mr. Speed, there's a question here for you, and then I will get in touch with Mr. Galloway in the meantime.
Where's Kumi? Oh, he came over to the training ground a couple of days ago. He hasn't started his training yet. I suppose he had an injury, and I suppose he's taking care of it before he comes back to full training. So he's in Jamaica.
Appreciate that, Alex.
All right. We're not getting through to Mr. Galloway. So let's see. He'll probably get back in touch with us. Yeah. So Mr. Speed, um lost again?
Yes.
What's going on at Cavaliers?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. We score 4 goals since the season start and get 4 red cards. So I think there's some correlation going on there. We just can't seem to get our best team on the pitch, except for the first game. Well, for none of the games.
keep your best team on the pitch.
Or keep them on the pitch. Even if I get them on the pitch, I can't keep them on the pitch. So it's something that we know is our biggest problem. To be more disciplined and keep the players on the pitch. So we worked on it. We have been working on it. Also, yeah, we need to score some more goals because it's not that we not getting the chances, but there were some positives. We had 65% of the possession in that game, but it just didn't fall for us just the same. So at least that is positive. We're able to keep possession of the ball when we wanted to. So good thing we're still in fifth and we need to come again. I can say that we have back our midfield duo that played in the championship round last week. We have them now working out together for the whole of this week. We had 6 days to get ready. So we're feeling good going into the game weekend.
And that's Marlando Maxwell.
No, Maxwell is still out on injuries. I mean, it's not just the red cards. We have had injuries, and the red cards are, let us miss players. Also, players went off on national duty sometimes. So all of those things affecting us. We're just happy that we're still in the playoff position. And we're slowly getting back there. We're not really worried. As Eric said, some of the time you need disappointment to make you better. So we're very disappointed now. So let's hope that will be a motivation for the team to kick on for the rest of the season.
Okay. And your game this weekend will be against Mobile United. I think for the first time, Mobile will not have to be traveling into Kingston. Cavaliers will have to do longer travel. I mean, it's Monday at 3:15. I mean, how are you preparing the players? Or you think it's an easy adjustment, seeing that they will coming off the artificial turf and be playing on the grass at Mount Pleasant, a ground that incidentally you have had a very good record. I don't think even Mount Pleasant have ever beaten you at Jacksall.
True. We like Jacksall mainly because it's so big, and we have young players. So if it's punishing because of the size of the field. But the truth is, if it's gonna be punishing anyone, it's gonna punish us less because we have younger players. The crowd in Jacksall love us, so it helps. Even when you're playing against Mount Pleasant, it's usually 50-50. I think it's the only team that play against Mount Pleasant and the people. They don't feel bad if Cavalier beat them, like some other team. And I think again, we're hungry. We could decide to travel down before, or we could come on the same day. We haven't made up our mind yet, but it's something that we're looking at. So we don't think that will affect us one way or the other. We'll be prepared to deal with whatever. We're not worried that Moby is traveling a lesser distance on us.
And this is also meaning that are you suggesting as well that we could be seeing Nicholas Nelson when the window opens in March, or he's just here to get into physical conditioning?
No. There's Nicholas Hamilton, you mean?
Huh?
Nicholas Hamilton.
Yeah, Nicholas Hamilton.
No, he doesn't need any transfer.
He's a free agent?
Yeah, we did have an interest in him before when he went up. We still had a 25% sale. I mean, I don't expect him. I know he has been training with Arnett Gardner a couple of days. Eric never called me, and I know that he trained with Arnett Gardner. Sorry, above you a couple of days. But I expect him to play for Cavalier if he's going to play football in Jamaica. So I'm not really worried.
Okay, and I heard that Mr. Doxley could be returning to Jamaica. Is that to Cavaliers, or he's going to some other club, or is he even returning?
Well, he's here. He's still on a contract with Cavaliers, so he can't go to any other club. We expect him to turn on for the team this weekend. So, we're optimistic.
So are you? I mean, the window opens next week as well. That's the March window for the JPL. Are there players you're concerned that you could be losing in the window, or players that you plan on bringing in the window outside of those we have mentioned?
Yeah, well, there are some players that we're looking at that we believe. Some young players, some stand out in the Manning Cup and the Costa Cup that is, training with us, and I believe that we'll be able to sign those players when the window opens. Two really top players, and we're looking to sign those players.
Okay. Are we waiting on Coach Eric to come back on?
I mean, two of the marquee players from the champion teams in the competition.
From the champions team. The champion team, Garvey Maceo and Kingston College. All right, we'll see. Marlon Martin, Arnett Gardner.
You have Edwin Allen too.
Oh yes, Edwin Allen. Edwin Allen won what?
Some cup.
Ben Francis. Okay.
So we have players from those teams that,
I see Marlon Martin, the Arnett Gardner players, bigging up his coach, Coach Eric. Respect. Yeah. Marlon.
Nice little player.
Yeah. I think he went to McGraw, or one of those schools out there in St. Catherine. All right, and then Romario Lawrence says, Mr. Speed, you need a quality central midfielder and a quality goal scorer.
Well, we'll fix one of the problems.
He says a quality central midfielder, but when he gets to the goal scoring, he says, and a real quality goal scorer.
Right. So we fix the central midfielder position. I think we get to fix it this week. The real goal scorer, that's gonna take some time, but we have a couple coming up in the transfer window. Young players, they'll take a little time. I hope we can get them ready before the playoffs. So yeah, we know Mr. Lawrence, and we're looking at it.
All right. Martin said he went to Charlemont High School. There we go. And then this is Alex Reed saying, looking promising, Mr. Speed, when come on against Severe. But he got red carded, Alex.
Yeah, he didn't stay too long, but I can see that he has improved over the year. Real quality player. You have reached.
Yeah. All right. And then Yes, so some very interesting games. Also, like again, let me say it again to the people. The games will be played at Draxall. In fact, today up to 6 p.m. tickets are being sold at Draxall. So if you want to attend the game, I think I'm trying to get Mr. Galloway, who promised that he would come on and explain this. You can go to Draxall now. They have personnel there who you need to bring your ID, vaccination card, and your cash, and they will sell you a ticket. They have persons there who would help to get the information up on the uploaded to the computer to verify your vaccination status. There is also the JPL, right? Mr. Speed have created similar to what they have for the national program, where you can actually purchase the ticket on the JPL or at the JPL website. All right, so I want to show you that, people, so you can get an idea as to what you need to do to get your ticket. All right, so you can actually go to the JPL site and purchase a ticket. We're going to talk about some more football, but we want to make sure that we promote the league in the best way possible, and whatever we can do, we want to make sure we do that to give you all the information necessary to go and get your tickets so you can attend the game. All right, so there we go. All right, so let me bring this up for you. There you go. So those are the steps. So if you go to JPL ticketing at gmail.com, all right, so you click on the link, and the link is, you see there, Jamaica Premier League local, Jamaica Premier League .localgovernment.gov.jm. Second step is you enter email address or phone number to receive one-time password. Then enter one-time password to access platform. You enter information as required, you upload your vaccine information. You do all of those things, and you go in and you buy a ticket. That's one way. Again, the other way is very simple. You can turn up at Mount Pleasant today up until 6 p.m. with your vaccination card, your ID, and you can get a ticket purchase. Of course, you'll have to have your money to be able to do that. If you don't have your money, you don't stand a chance of getting into the venue. All right. Yes, so Mr. Speedy, your team is still in. We have Mount Pleasant leading the standing with 16, Waterhouse on 13, Dumby Holding on 13, Arnett on 11, Cavaliers on 9, Harborview, who had a win on 8, Veer, they are on 6 points, but they have a game in hand. Portmore on 5, Humble Lion on 4, Molines on 4, Moby on 4, Tivoli in 12th position with 3 points with a game in hand. Are you surprised? Are you surprised about the performance of Tivoli this season? So far?
Well, Tivoli, I'm a little bit surprised. I thought after coming third yet last year, they would have probably kicked on, but they lost some of their players, some of their better players. So I suppose it's a rebuilding process. So Tivoli is a team though that you can't write off. They will just make a surge, a run, and still qualify for the playoffs. They still have a game in hand. So even though they are last on 3 points, winning that game could carry them further, a lot further up the table, and get them within striking distance of the top 6. So I'm not worried about Tivoli. Tivoli is a fighting team. They fight to the end. I expect them to improve dramatically before too long.
Okay. Yeah, I think they're going to rebound. I think of the teams down there in the cellar, I think they're one of the teams you I am least concerned about. I mean, I know there's no relegation, but I think unless Mobile United, I think like teams like Tivoli, Mobile United, Molines, and Portmore, they need to make some changes to their roster if they want to stand any opportunity, I think, of climbing up the table and making significant impact in this season of the league. I see Loud Music Entertainment saying that there's too much work that to go to watch a match. You can go to the, remember, but Loud Music Entertainment, you can also go to the venue or have someone, you understand me, with your vaccination stuff and your ID and get a ticket. That's an easy way of doing it. The other way, of course, is to visit the online platform, but there has to be some way of managing what is happening in terms of how people have access to the venue, because you don't want a good thing to turn out to be bad. But they are the tickets on Monday. However, for the Monday game, the tickets are $700. So Saturday games for the doubleheader, it's 1,000. Sunday, it's 1,000, and then on Monday, it is $700. All right, I think we have Michelle Turner, who is going to be joining us. Michelle Turner is from the JPL. There you go. Good afternoon, Michelle. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Yes. Right. I I don't know what time you have. Seem like you're at the venue trying to prepare, but can you explain to the fans out there how they can get ticket, the different ways, where, and how the process works?
Okay. So there really is only one way. As you know, the government has set up a system. That's what the JFF has used for the one match that they got funds for. That's what Gibson is using, etc. That's what everyone will be using moving forward. So it's the one system. The link for that is the link for that
Is
Jamaica Premier League.
Right.
.localgov Jamaica. Jamaica Premier League, fully spelled out.
Yes.
.localgov Jamaica.
Yes.
.gm. So what happens is the first step is you sign in. Well, you enter your email address or your phone number and you get a one-time password. With that one-time password, you enter your vaccination information, basically. So you upload your name, you enter your name, contact details, upload your vaccination card, and upload an ID. So if you're doing the paper card, you have to upload the front and the back. If you have the digital card, you have to upload it 2 times, basically. You have to upload it in the front, the column, the field for front and the field for back. So you have to do it twice. Once you've uploaded the vaccination information, then it goes to Ministry of Local Government Fund. Hello?
Yeah, man, I'm listening. It goes to the Ministry of Local Government.
Yeah, man, once they've accepted the vaccination information, then they'll send you a notification to that you can purchase tickets. And once you enter the system, you'll be able to click on a link that says buy ticket, and you buy the ticket. Prices are $1,000 for Saturday and Sunday, and $700 for Monday.
Okay, and how many fans will be allowed in the venue per day, or is it per game?
It's per day. So once you buy a ticket for that day, you're able to go to both games on that day.
Okay, so but
Yeah.
what if the Mount Pleasant fans
Yeah.
purchase all the ticket because they have a easier pathway of getting the tickets, um, and then the Waterhouse fans want to attend the game. What's gonna happen?
The Waterhouse funds, everybody has to go through the same system. So what Mount Pleasant has done is they set up to facilitate their funds. Since it's their home venue, they set up something to facilitate their funds, um, and to help them through the process. Um, Otherwise, everybody is the same thing. So same website, same information entered, etc. Mount Pleasant has just made the process easier for their fans by having people do that for them.
Okay, will there be vendors at the venue? I know for the games at the National Stadium there were no vendors. Will there be vendors at the venue, seeing that it's a
One
double header?
Yeah, one of our sponsors will be providing um, water, juice, snacks, etc.
Free
So
of
other
cost?
than that, what's that?
Will they be providing it free of cost for the patrons?
No, 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 no. They'll be selling. They'll be selling. But other than that, there won't be any vendors. No peanut man or no soup man or nothing like that. We would
Okay.
be used to.
All
Yeah.
right. And so what this means as well is that you'd have to print the information that you do online to take to the venue to verify that you are a
Yes.
legitimate. Yes.
So it's either you print it or you show it on your phone. So what it will come as is there'll be a QR code and then your ID, the ID that you submitted. There'll be a picture
Yes.
of that. So that's how you'll be able to enter the venue.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add, Mr. Turner? For the persons who are listening, watching, who want to go to the game, any other information you think is important that needs to be shared?
Tick. Trying to get everything together. And yeah, just I know the fans are looking forward to football coming back and being able to attend games. So hopefully this week is the start of something, and we'll have more and more coming out as we move to different venues, um, and the capacity hopefully increases as we go forward.
Is this a test? I mean, is this a test run to see how well you'll be able to manage crowds coming in, people wanting to jump the wall,
I'm
people
not.
want to
Hello?
sit on trees? Yes, are you
I'm not
hearing
hearing
me?
you.
Oh, you're not hearing. Maybe you got a call. I don't know if you got like a call or something. So you can sign. Once you
Not
hear, you
yet.
can sign. Okay. All right. Look like we have lost connection with Marshall. So we're gonna see if we can see if we can get him to sign out and sign back in, and then we can move from there. Have some other discussion. All right. Okay, so that's on the game. So Mr. Speed, so I got some very good picks last time around, so let's just go with the first game. Humble Lion, I tell you about Humble Lion, Tell you underestimating the old charges,
Well, you mean
Oh,
Lion?
yeah, old lion still bite.
Yeah, well, I mean, I said before that it's just unfortunate that they do have more points because they are not playing bad, and they have tried to mix the old players with the young players that had gone through. They had players, especially the wing backs were young players, and they put in other young players too. The old players have a lot of experience. So as I said last year, and I said it again, they will not lose every match in the tournament. They will eventually start to win some games, and if they get some consistency, Andrew Price is their old veteran coach, plus Bigger Thompson, who is an up and coming future star coach. So I expect them to get something right, and Umberland will be a hard nut to crack. So Umberland against Harborview. I know Harborview was smooth against Portmore, very smooth, but this is a different game. Portmore players are inexperienced. Umberland's players are not. So I think that maybe this is the first time Umberland gonna taste victory for the season.
First time?
Sorry, second.
Umberland has won already, man.
Second time.
Yeah. You know what? I think this game is going to end 2-2, you know. I think like one of the things that Harborview has struggled with is scoring goals. And I also think one of the things Humble Lion has not worked out yet is how to keep clean sheets. I'll tell you that Andre Clennon may not score a lot of goals, but he gives a lot of trouble to defenders because of his hold-up play. Visional Harris is.
Sorry, I need to correct you. Umberland hasn't tasted victory since the season started.
Yeah?
No.
Okay, so it's drawn games.
4 drawn games.
Okay, all right, get you. All right, thanks for that. Yeah, Visional Harris is playing well. Also, the captain, he's a very good kick off the dead ball, Andrew Vanzi. So I see them scoring, but the wing back player of Harborview going forward is very good. That is O'Shane Staple and Harding on the other side. Which is where I think Humble Lion is most vulnerable in defense. So I think that this game is going to be 2-2. But I would not be surprised if Humble Lion win it 2-1. But we're having minimum of 3 goals in this game. Minimum 3 goals being scored in this game. So people, let me know, what is your prediction for that game? What is your prediction? Humble Lion versus Harborview. So minimum 3 goals being scored. My first pick is for a 2-2 scoreline. If it is only 3 goals, I'm going Humble Lion with the victory. Mr. Speed is straight out Humble Lion for the victory. All right, the second game will be the big game probably of this round. The Waterhouse versus High Flying Mount Pleasant, top of the table clash. Waterhouse going through a very lean time as of recent, struggling to get some positive results. Mount Pleasant just keep winning, finding a way of eking out the victories and stuff. Different players having an impact. Atti coming back in the last game. Ricardo Morris starting. Daniel Ricketts scoring again. So their player rotation seemed to be working. Still without a couple of defenders. Not sure if Ladiel Ritchie will be available. He came off again in the last game. What say you, Mr. Speed? Waterhouse, a team that you're very fond of, versus
Umberland, another team I'm very fond of. I always tell people I'm so happy, Mount Pleasant is in the league. I'm happy Waterhouse is in the league. Arnett Garden. Those teams are the teams that generate the most income from gate receipts. They have a large amount of funds. So we have to appreciate them for what they are. And we do. So, you can see Mount Pleasant organization, they have people there trying to help patrons to come in to ensure the product is better. And it's just 2 very good teams. Now, Mount Pleasant has started to show a lot of class with their pro license coach, Wally Downs. Waterhouse started out on fire, but in the last 2 matches they kind of get pegged back. I think you have to understand the game. Waterhouse is one of those teams that feels out not just the opposition but its own players. They check up on their players to see what they're doing in the games, and then slowly and surely Fuzzy with a lot of experience will start the best team that he has. So I think it's a process that is giving everybody some playing time now. I saw Keith Sims in the last 2 games after not playing for 2 years, so you could see he's trying to get him into some shape or form. I thought he was playing centre half in one of the games. I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, he was.
Right, just to get some games. So I just believe that Waterhouse is really feeling out. They're not perturbed. They are saying when we're ready to run, we can turn on the pipe and pick up the points. They are trying to make sure that the players are there.
Yeah.
Mount Pleasant is a different proposition. Mount Pleasant, because of all the investments that has taken place there, and Wally Downs, I'm sure he has his ego. He's a pro licensed coach, the most qualified coach in Jamaica. He really needs to stay on top. So I think he's playing his best team from the best available team that he has from the word go and only change when he has to. So there are two different teams going with two different reasons. And this game could go either way. I am not taking away anything from Waterhouse. You really don't know who is the better team yet either because the first round hasn't been completed. So everybody play everybody. They play different oppositions all the time. So I would say that Mount Pleasant has the edge at this particular point in time based on form. But Waterhouse could just turn it on its head in a couple of plays. And I think it's going to be a draw. Nobody will
Yeah.
not be able to separate them. No.
You know what? I think Mount Pleasant is going to find a way to win this game, and that is solely based on the fact that this is in a year and odd the first time they're having their fans back over there, and I'm not expecting anything less than 1,300 Mount Pleasant fans. I don't think anybody else will get a ticket except the Mount Pleasant fans.
I agree with you.
Right, and I think that is going to I think affect the context of the game. I just think like with the people being there, this first game, all the hype, music playing, all of these things for this like first game. It in any on any other occasion, I would probably go draw a Waterhouse. But for this particular, this is like we are coming back in the Premier League. We're playing our first home game. I don't see Waterhouse on the recent form and how I've seen Mount Pleasant play this winning. But the truth is, you're correct. Mount Pleasant has been conceding. They conceded against even Molines. Very good goal though by the Molines forward. But they're scoring as well. So Waterhouse will score, Mount Pleasant will score. And so I can see this game going again a 2-1 game, and I'm going in favor of Mount Pleasant. If
I know
Waterhouse,
you're very sentimental, you know.
if
I mean,
Waterhouse wins, it is going to be like big, like 4-2. I think
I've
for Waterhouse,
never,
yeah.
in all that you have saying, there is no technical, tactical, or reasons for that winning. You know. It's pure emotion and
No,
sentiments and all
no,
that.
you don't think the value of the crowd at this
And the
game is
12th
going to.
man.
You don't believe that the value of the crowd is going to play. I can give you a good example. All right, I think how the Waterhouse. So watch this. The Waterhouse midfield, how they play, and I know they have brought in Keith Simpson. I think this is part of the problem at Waterhouse. I think Waterhouse has yet to figure out who are the best players to start the game with to get the best result. I think they have so many choices, they are testing out their best 11. Because if Keith Simpson start, I think he's a good player, but he's completely different from the Howell and kind of midfield that they had. And I think that is what they are trying to figure out. And I don't think they have figured it out yet. I don't think so. I think an ex-player who was very instrumental to them was Kenroy.
Oh, well.
No man, is it Campbell? Kimani Campbell?
Yeah, but he's on the bench.
Right. And I think he's on the bench because Ricardo, though he has been playing well, is a national player, basically was called up. So I think those things is the dynamics within the Waterhouse team. I don't think they have found the ideal 11 yet to get them playing like last season. Because you know that almost every game, they have changed somebody in their starting 11. Mount Pleasant has used the same starting 11 for 4 games.
Right. So You're repeating what I said about Waterhouse in terms of they are trying. It's not a bad tactics. So you might think that it is a bad tactics to try to find your best player during competition. No, it's not. It's actually a very good tactic. So you know who you can rely on to do what. And because Waterhouse have this galaxy of stars in their lineup on their bench, in they have stars even in clothes that don't get to change it, like the former Tivoli guard and hotshot striker. You haven't seen him yet. What's his name again? The one that was at Tivoli.
He was there last season. Oh, geez.
Yeah, so you haven't even seen that player yet. So Murray, Colorado Murray, right? Hasn't didn't have his best form last year either because he was injured a lot of time. He's fit now, no injuries. So you haven't seen the player that scored 5 goals last year from. I mean, you should go to stats. I think you haven't seen that player either.
No, he's not here.
I know, but if he didn't get a contract, he'll be back. I didn't hear of him getting a contract, but so he'll be back. So
Okay.
there's a lot of players that Waterhouse could pull out of a hat that are dangerous players.
Somebody saying Gray, not Gray. But Gray's there, not playing as either.
Which Gray?
Gray from there are how many Tivoli forwards there?
No, Colorado Moore was there from a long time, right? But Devroy Gray is there now.
Right.
He's
But
a
he's not.
super sub. He comes on.
And
He's a-
Andre Moulton hasn't played a lot either.
right. So I if I were you, I wouldn't be saying anything about that team from Waterhouse. They have too many top players.
What I'm going to tell you though is that whoever plays at right back for Mount Pleasant, at left back, so Mr. Sigree, Cardell, Benbow has something to prove. And if Waterhouse wins, he will have to be the difference maker. No, I think he plays. Yeah, he plays down the right. He plays down the right.
No. I wouldn't even say that man is man.
Yeah.
They have too much weapons. I wouldn't be putting it on Cardell Benbow.
And Benbow, okay.
To win the game. They have too many weapons. They have about once you pass the back line and they have like any other top six can damage you anytime. So it's just they have to click on the day and you have to be on the A game to stop them from beating you. You have to be on the A game.
The only the position that I don't like at Waterhouse is their centre back pairing. I think something is missing.
Well, yes, they're missing the captain for 17 years. He's not there for 17 years, but they're missing the captain who was there for so many years. And then the replacement for him, Vince, got a bad injury. Moby Barton kicked him with trying a bicycle kick and injured him. And it could be a season-ending injury. Nobody knows if Vince is going to come up before the end of the season. It was that bad an injury. Of course, Barton get a red card for his efforts, but based on that, Waterhouse really has to rebuild that part of their defense. They are good all around the rest with good wing backs. And I think that is one of the reasons too why they probably tried Peter Simpson there. You know the old saying, if you're not so good anymore, you play back. You ever hear that saying?
Yeah.
Forward and you're not so good, you go play top midfield. You're not so good, you go play central. You're not doing so good, you go play defense. It doesn't work out for goalkeepers though, but once you go back, there's less skill set. So I think that's the only problem Waterhouse has. But then Fuzzy's a smart coach and he has a lot of time to fix it. And I think he will. And that is why I think he was trying Kitty Simpson there to see if that was a fix. Didn't work out so well, so I expect him to look for other venues. Plus, the transfer window is coming around in March. Yeah. He could fix it there.
Yeah. All right. I see. Let's jump to the Sunday games. Pretty low key game, but a lot banking on them because the what you call it, the bottom of the table clash are somewhere around there with Tivoli Garden versus Molines. That's going to be an interesting one on Sunday. Because both teams need to win this game. You know what is so funny? Molines have some goal scorers. I am telling you, like, you can expect Molines to score in most of their games.
Well, they have
What?
scored one per game.
Yeah,
The center for that they got from UW is on 2 goals, I think. And I think Nelson's probably on 3. Those are really 2 goals, good goal
two
scorer.
good goal scorers they have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
anything can happen. Young Brand Mighty is the new manager of the team. So
Mr. Martin, do you plan on strengthening in the window?
yes,
Are you
ask
planning on
him.
selling anybody to one of the teams that need a center forward like Cavaliers? I don't know. And they also have, that Peter Harrison is now in goal. I think he's a better keeper than the other keeper that was there. And
Well, he's
also they have,
very experienced.
yeah, he was at
Yeah,
Cavaliers as well.
yeah, for a short time, yeah.
Yeah, and then they have a centre back. The people, please put the names on the back of the jerseys for heaven's sake. He's like Rasta Platopier defender. Mr. Mike,
Oh,
what's his
yes, they got him from Olympic Garden. He's a decent center.
very good defender. He has helped to stabilize their defense.
Well,
As well.
they lost the Waterhouse right stopper was at Molines. Molines lost that player to
Yes,
Waterhouse.
yes. And Steve Wright also left there too.
Severite is at Tivoli. Although I haven't seen him playing any games, but he's at Tivoli
Yeah.
Garden now.
So what is your prediction for that game?
Again, I expect it to draw. Tivoli have one of the very hard to break down their defense. Tivoli Garden. I mean, they have conceded 7 goals so far, but Molines has scored once. But Tivoli has also scored 5 goals from 6 games. So I expect this one to be a 1-1 draw. Tivoli have Warner Brown, who's red hot, on fire. And why I'm going for a draw too. Of the 12 games that both Molines and Tivoli have played, only one. They have only one. Molines has won 1 game. Every other game they have either lost or drawn. So I expect more of the same.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that game, you know what? I'm going to um I'm going to give I'm going for a draw as well. 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw I'm going. 1-1 draw I'm
Yeah.
going.
But
1-1
I
draw.
know I say Brian don't answer your question yet. Him love ask question, Brian. Answer the question.
Yeah,
Are you going
please.
into the market?
Yeah, tell me about what your plans are for the transfer market, Brian. Then the other game is Veer versus Portmore. It's a very tough game to call.
Well, We're United, has won 2 games this season to be on 6 points. They have lost 4. No, sorry, they have lost 3 because
Veer?
yes, and 1-2.
Okay.
The other game hasn't been decided as yet.
The Tivoli game.
Right. I think it's with the competition department, and there will be a ruling. I'm not sure what the ruling will be, but it's not an automatic replay, as people might think. It's not an automatic replay.
Oh, okay.
So that is not out yet. So I don't know if somebody will get the points. So Veer is there on 6 points. Portmore is on 5. They have won 1 game and drawn 2, and they have also lost 3 games. So I would say again, I don't know why I think that this game is gonna be another drawn game, because both teams hasn't been able to prove that they can win games easily. I think it's gonna be another drawn game.
If I noticed, Francois Swaby did not play the last game for Veer. I don't know if he's injured or anything. But I think how Portmore plays, they play right into the hand of Veer. They like to keep the ball, don't create a lot, but they keep the ball a lot. That's what Veer want them to do. Keep it, and then somehow Veer finds a way of scoring, right?
Yes, because against us, we had 65% of possession. I mean, statistically, that should have been enough to give us a victory, but it didn't. They still were able to win the match by getting a penalty. by really just playing without the ball and picking off one of our passes that we were making across the field
There you go.
and counter. So you're probably correct.
Uh,
Portmore is not a goal scoring team, and that is why if we go ahead, I think that's the end of that game. So it's one of those cagey games that I think could draw, or as I say, we just give Veer the edge just out of it.
yeah. All right. Brian is finally answering some of the questions. But I see them. Romario Lawrence asking what you think about Demar Rose. But then Brian laughed. Then he says, "Manins, man, you'll all have to wait and see. Man, not letting out. This is a real manager, right? Top class manager, not
Yeah.
letting out any secrets."
Let him stay on the fence. He might drop off.
Then he says, Lorenzo McCoy, I think he's saying, is a name of the defender that moved from, you said, from Olympic Gardens
Yes.
to Molines. Then he says, Ganesh is saying Molines for the win. Whoa. All right. Then Brian says Steve Wright is not at any club. He's 33 years old as well.
No man, I saw him at Tivoli in preseason. He was playing in preseason at Tivoli.
Okay, so he was there for the preseason.
Yeah, I saw him in games. I don't know what happened since, but I definitely saw him in preseason. But remember, he had a problem. His son,
right, with his daughter, I think.
No, his son died. So
the same one that they were trying to get the surgery done for. Right. Well, I didn't know that, man.
So he's probably in mourning. He's probably not taking it so well. I hope I hope everything all right with him.
So the man says March should be interesting. But let's see. So I'm not letting out anything. He said I should send him the link. So let's see what revelation he's going to come and bring to the platform. So I've sent it to him. But yeah, we have a couple other games to go over. But up here I see JJ saying that any plans for a JPL 2 to have the best young 15 to 19 to compete, to prepare them for a professional career. So when they make the transition to pro, they aren't behind the curve like schoolboys. There's a second tier.
Yeah, so I must tell you that I don't remember all the teams, but at least 11 parishes have selected a team to play in the second tier of a national competition. So we have teams now. We're waiting on the government to give us the permission to stage that competition. So people, it's happening.
A lot of people gonna get upset, because like even in the parish that I'm at, no contact was made with me and several other clubs as to whether they can or not. So somebody just randomly selects, and this is part of the thing, and this is not the only. There's a couple other parishes that have heard the same sentiment, that nobody has said anything to them, but a team has been selected. How does that process work? That's the thing. I mean, what autonomy does a parish president have to determine that this team, or is it based on the last Super League qualification? What is it based on? You understand me? That's something to avoid confusion.
No, there's no confusion. It was very clear. So let me explain it, because with Jamaicans with no knowledge Jamaica issue. Jamaica is under a program that you call sporting merit, right? We have to have sporting merit in everything that we do. FIFA says that there was a big ruling in Court of Arbitration March 2020. The only two countries that can operate without sporting merit is USA and Australia. Everybody else have to operate on a sporting merit. So what happened? The last Premier League playoff that was held, there was 7 teams in it. 2 teams came up to the Premier League in Veer and Molines United, and there was 5 more. So the directive that went out to the parishes was that 5 teams must be selected. Must, not may, must be selected as a part of the tier 2 unless they have not made the criteria that we stipulated to become
Okay.
the licensed, the licensed club, right? Which you have to score 130 points. So in your parish, the team that was designated, the president did the right thing because that team Limal was one of the five. There was Baptist Alliance was one of the five, Downs was one of the five, Wadada and Falkland was one of the five. So those five teams, they would have had not to be able to, they are automatic unless they can manage in terms of the club license.
Right.
So those five was automatic.
Okay.
So then,
So which makes sense. I mean, fine. They were you would basically say the next in line. So yeah, it makes sense to have them in it. But what about now?
so they would have
What
represented their parish, those five.
okay, so
And
fine. So,
all five was nominated to be in tier two by their
because okay, because what happened is I asked that question because because remember the leagues ended abruptly. Like there's a next team called that changed its name from Brownstone to St. Anne. That were I think they won ahead of Lime Hall after that whole Premier League qualification. There is also that team. You understand me? You have like
hold on, let me explain that. The leagues for the year 2020 that were postponed, remember that competition was declared, was cancelled, done, never happened, postponed, whatever the word is, it means it never happened.
okay.
So you have to go back to the year before when everything was the same.
When everything. Okay, so that's 5 teams. That's 2 teams from Montego Bay. Because
Yes.
Waterden and Falkland were in it.
Yes, but they were in it because the Western Confed played as a confederation. So those were the 2 teams that came up.
Oh, so only one of those 2 teams will make it.
No, 2 of them make it. They were in it.
Oh, so Waterden and Falkland will be in the second tier. So Montego Bay automatically gets 2 because of that. On merit.
On merit, yes.
Right.
14 merit.
Then Baptist Alliance from St. Thomas. Downs from Manchester.
Right. And Limal
from St. Anne. Yes. Okay.
They were not chosen. The parishes get directive that those people must be there. Only way they're not there unless they can meet the criteria.
All right. So because the Kasafa team got promoted, Kasafa has to do what now to qualify?
Kasafa and the Clarendon team got promoted.
They have?
Yes. It was
Molines. No, I didn't hear. I didn't hear what you said about the
Clarendon Veer and Kasafa's Molines was promoted from that Premier League.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm asking now. So Kasafa will have to decide now who from Kasafa would be the next in line to come up.
Correct.
And right. Okay.
And
so
that's easy again, you know. Remember, it's Sporting Merit. So it's the team that was number 1 in their top competition. So it's always easy to choose the team.
Okay, so the top team, when the competition last ended, would be, and then if the top team was Molines, then it would be the second team.
Yes. That
comes up, which is the same thing would happen to Clarendon, who was the second team behind Veer.
Correct.
Once they meet the criteria.
Well, no. The Super League that finished in that season, it will be that team from Clarendon. Yes.
Yeah.
You're correct. Yes.
So they would be right. Okay.
Which
means that like a Reno would represent Westmoreland.
Yes.
Because they were the Westmoreland team that were the top team in the Super League that season.
Yes.
Okay.
And they went to mid-season final and out those.
Right, they went to the mid-season final. Right. Now, okay. So that means and so from St. Mary, that's what I want. From St. Mary, there was no it's very interesting how it's going to be. Very interesting. What happened to Falmouth?
There was a major league. No, but wasn't there a Super League between St. Mary and Portland? No, between St. Mary and St. Anne.
And St. Anne, right.
Yeah. So it's a top Super League team in St. Mary. Would come.
All right, so what I'm saying, though, but the top teams were 2 St. Anne team, Brownstone and Limal. but they would have to pick the top one from St. Mary.
Correct.
Okay. All right, people, we have the man. I mean, in his office down at Molines United, his newly refurbished office. M10 football. Virgin, me send her the link. Come on, man. Me need to put up the thing. Come on, M10. Where you going it? Where M10, the man? Yeah. Somebody's asking what happened to Falmouth United from Trelawney. Very interesting. I don't know. Where is the team from Trelawney in it? It would be good to have them in it. I don't know if they are the ones, but yeah.
My information is that they are in it, but I can't confirm.
Okay. That sounds good though. That sounds good. Mr. Brian, the mighty man from Molines. How you doing?
I'm good, you know. I'm good. Good afternoon to you and Mr. Speed and everyone.
Yeah, I mean, how it feels to be in such elite position, you know, to be at such a young age, be managing in the JPL. You learned well from your Cavaliers experience. I don't know.
It's a good feeling. It's a lot of work, a lot more than I thought it would have been, but it's a good experience. I think something that I'm really relishing, and I always like and admire sports administration in that aspect. So it's something that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, I'll be here for a very long time.
Yeah, I hope they don't fire you, you know.
Well, I'm not sure about the firing part, but hopefully they'll see my worth and intend to keep me around longer.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you guys have been doing, well enough, playing some.
No, Manings, man, and I'm not giving any information about any players that we're recruiting. So I'm stopping in the question.
No,
there.
you know, you have already
But
let
they
the cat
can
out the bag. Okay, what you just said. You're not giving me any information on players that you are recruiting. I didn't ask if you were recruiting players.
No, but
you're telling us that you're recruiting players.
But you were making that assertion in the comments.
Yeah.
But it's a natural thing because the transfer window will open, so players will want to leave clubs or players will want to join clubs. So it's a given. It's not a matter of whether you're recruiting or not. Unless you think you're the best team in the world and you just tell everybody who come that you don't need them anymore. Like your team down in St. Anne.
So you're actually recruiting players?
Well, it's the time now where players are looking to go to clubs and try out.
So are there players like from your club, looking to go to club for tryout?
I wouldn't be able to say that.
It would sound like a real manager, yeah. We're not giving out no information, Mr. Speed. I don't know if you want to take you down the line of question, but congratulations to you. Congratulations to you on your position. I mean, it's good to see young, intelligent minds and brains who have a love for the game getting involved in the football. This is what we have longed to see, you know, more young persons in the game. So I'm very happy for you, and I can see that there is a difference at Molines since you have been appointed. I mean, the team looks different, you know, just so. Man, definitely keep up the good work. You know, really think it's a great thing. I hope you make all the other young persons out there who desire to be in football proud, right? Yeah, Mr. Speed, there are many questions about the second. Yeah, man. Somebody said we need a U19 league along with the JPL, but I think there's I think the second tier. If you are excellent U19 and you can't make the Premier League and you can't make the second tier, then there should be no league for you. That is my opinion. You're not good.
Well, I wouldn't say that because all over the world, management, there's this development league. Because you see, talent is difficult to even identify. And some people just don't identify it until maybe not 20, 21. So all over the world in the developed societies, they have leagues under 19s, they have the under 21, they even have the under 23 because they believe that, you know, in the top teams, they will not be able to get so much games at that age. So they keep on, you know, developing these players. So you get that James Vardy and you get The one that was at Arsenal and then go to Chelsea. These players develop much later. As a matter of fact, a lot of star players in their 17 and 19 years of age are not the ones who really come through because talent have a way of just springing out of the blue. At some age it just start to manifest itself and people just don't understand how and why it happened. So I would say that yes, we do need those leagues. It's just that we don't have enough money. I wouldn't say under 19 because there's
There
already
you
an
go.
under
That's my
19.
point. Under 17.
Right, there's already an under 19 league in Jamaica. It's called Schoolboy League. So you probably want to have an under 21 league to groom some of the players continuously who don't get that time to play. So the 19-year-olds could play in it, and under 17 definitely. I think, or maybe under 20 because the JPL has a commitment to play those leagues, those youth leagues, 13, 15, 17, and 20. 17 and 20 committed, but they want to play other leagues among themselves too. So we'll be soon be seeing it. You call it a junior Premier League. So we'll
Okay,
have this
here's my position though. Because the average age of our Premier League is around 23 years old. The average age in the Premier League in total is 23. If you are 19 and the average age of the league is 23, and you can't make any of those teams, and then below that, they're going to have a next league, and you can't make any of those teams at 19, I am not playing no other league for you.
No. No, management, no bother with that. What me know is that I might not want to give my young, talented 19-year-old to go be educated by another coach. That's the difference. I don't want him to, my 18-year-old, my good 18-year-old and 19-year-olds, I don't want them to be educated by another coach and a coaching system. So I want to keep them. And that is why all over the world they have these players playing in these under 23, under 21 league. They don't want to send out their kids for education. I tell you, anytime you see a team send out a kid for education, most likely not coming back. Just think about it. Look at all the kids them that these teams keep sending out for education. They're not coming back. Chelsea had a lot. They have to go find them with another team to come back. And that is the reason why they keep them there. So they keep the philosophy going and they bring them up. So no, I don't agree. You need to have that competition still. Remember, if you just get 2 players out of those competitions to join the senior team now, have your philosophy and pass the threshold, you save yourself a lot of money.
All right. Let me just take a couple of things. Let me just answer Alex. Mr. Christie, we send you. Is it Paul Christie? We send you the link, I don't know, you're not in there. Tivoli 2.0 or Tivoli 2.1 you're picking. You're picking Tivoli 2.1 over Molines. Alex. All right. Listen, Alex. The league is based on this. The last Premier League playoffs, Baptist Alliance was a team from St. Thomas that were in it. Baptist Alliance, Veer, Molines, Lime Hall, Wadada, and Falkland.
And Downs.
And Downs, 7 teams.
Yeah.
Molines qualified, Veer qualified. The other 5 teams get on merit will be the first 5 teams in the JPL 2. All right, Alex, that is how it was. York was not in the last Premier League playoff.
Yeah, Monies, but I guess the reason why a lot of persons would be saying New York is because there are prominent teams in the playoffs. So maybe that's the reason behind why a lot of persons are
what
saying
happened
that.
is that what he's thinking that York was leading the league over there. And so he's thinking that, okay, if they're leading the most, but it is not.
That's not true. That league never start in the eastern part of the country. That league never did start. The Super League never start when it was aborted. That league never started.
There you go.
But anyway, all the leagues in 2020 was abandoned.
Alex, all right, Alex, you're always providing wrong information. York was not in the last Premier League playoff. All right, so just stop while you're ahead. You're incorrect, sir. All right, so get the facts right. So Christopher Wright is asking Mr. Speed, will there be relegation in tier 2? Because there's no relegation in tier 1.
No, they are going to enjoy the same privileges of 2 years. There's no relegation. It could be more than 2 years, but at least 2 years there'll be no relegation.
So as far as this, so based on that, then I should just stop my team.
No, there will be promotion to tier 2.
No, but that's what they just, you said that there will be no promotion. Yeah, I'm not running crazy unless
I never said that, man. You sound like the man from York, man. Come on.
He said, will there be relegation in tier 2?
No.
I'm saying no. But there'll be promotion.
There'll be promotion to tier 2.
Oh, there'll be promotion.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So every year, how many teams get promoted?
Tier 2 is supposed to have 18 teams maximum. So if we start with 12 and 2 come up every year, it look like it's about 5 years before anybody gets relegated. Because you go to 14 and 16 and 18. Well, 4 years. Then once you reach 18, then you start the relegation process. So it depends on how much you start.
I think what Alex is saying, right, is Portland and St. Thomas played in the Super League.
But they didn't start.
Right.
It
So
never start.
Norman, what he's saying, he's right. He's saying Baptist Alliance beat York to go to the playoffs.
Right. Okay.
Therefore, York should be the team that comes from Portland because they were the top team from Portland.
York is not in Portland. Why the person would say that?
York is in St. Thomas.
St. Thomas, Alex. Hey, Alex, my name is talk. Nonsense. Where is Baptist Alliance from? St. Thomas.
St. Thomas.
There you go.
York is from St. Thomas.
So we need to find out what team was in Portland and leading in Portland. That
Georges.
Portlanders.
Yeah.
So Portlanders will be coming from Portland.
Yes. All you have to come from Portland. Is every parish get one, you know?
Yeah. And Albion Mountain from I think is a St. Mary team. I think it's Albion Mountain or Axum. Yeah.
One of those.
So who would be the team from Kasafa?
Well, that's what I just
said. Wouldn't they get?
It would be Barbican. Barbican came second to Molines.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it was over in St. Catherine. It was what the Premier League team name. They were in Premier League.
It was True Juice. No,
it was True Juice. Yeah, no man. Rivoli was.
It was True Juice.
True Juice.
Yeah, so it's kind of pretty easy to figure out all the teams.
Yes, it is. No, not a rocket science.
Unless they don't meet. Unless they don't
meet the criteria, then you're out. But the people must get their facts straight because a lot of people facts just wrong.
Yeah. So here's what they're asking. This I hope the tier 2 league get TV coverage just like the JPL. Might not be as much, but some coverage.
Well, I am sure some, but not the same.
Yeah. So that's good. Yeah, man. But
remember the tier 2, the construct of it is for it to be played in certain arenas, just the same. So because it's so widespread, it's difficult for you can't carry all the matches to one place. So it will not be played like that. So I don't think you'll get coverage for all the games. Maybe a doubleheader each week, but that's as much as possible.
You know what I want to ask you though? One of the reasons why they had revamped the whole A-League thing is because of the travel arrangement. Like for the team from Westmoreland to travel to Portland to play a game and all of that. Now, is it harder to finance with all of that travel?
No, but that's not the reason, man. The reason why that league, one of the reasons why that league never worked is because of money, right? So we realize that, and the way we construct the tier 2 with the club licensing criteria, we now gonna have that big money problem again, like because we made sure the club was on good foundation, good footing. People was there to finance the club until it reached a stage where it can self-sustain itself. So it's really the club licensing and the scrutinization of the people who own the club is what is important here. And also, there is some money that the JFF will help the league with to start up. Also, the JPL is the one who is responsible for the marketing at that league, also, just like the tier one. So there is a difference, big difference. You know, it is construct this time around. Also, they are not going to be doing that amount of traveling, as you were suggesting. I think they're going to have a split in the country, a east and a west, and then they go to the playoffs.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, somebody's saying that it would be nice for you to call it the Jamaica Championship.
To be honest, it don't have a name yet.
Hey, patent the name in a Leon Price. And if they want to buy it, you know, they have to buy it from you. Maybe I can make a look of money off it. Well, that's all like some good plan. I think so. You're looking forward to this weekend game, Brian. I have to call him Mr. Molines.
So Brian is just fine, you know. Yeah, looking forward to it. I haven't been to Draxall in a while, and I hear that the surface down there is very good. So, it should be a good game. Hopefully, we'll come away with all 3 points. But it's good to see that fans will be allowed back in the venues to watch the games. I think it's something that everyone has been clamoring for a while. As you said before, I don't see how the other teams will be able to get their spectators in, given that the distance and it's quite costly from town to go down there, especially if you're going by the toll. And the fact that, you know, Mount Pleasant has persons assisting their fans to get in, and they have a very large fan base. So, but I mean, I think fans will appreciate good football regardless of who is playing. So, once the teams go out there and play well, then I don't think it should be an issue. But I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah, Alex, I'm not sure if you're saying that you got it wrong and you're conceding. You're not afraid to be corrected. If that is it, that's very good. And then Leon Price.
Mr. Speed. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you can go.
No man. Just quickly, Leon Price says he's going to Jamaica Intellectual office Monday to patent it. So
There's no such office.
They can just name it so from today. Then if you wait until Monday,
Yeah.
you can just name it today.
Yeah.
Mr. Speed, is there any plans to play any of the games under lights? Probably at Savannah Park or any one of those other venues that have that facility.
Oh yeah, definitely. But you know, for the first, we just need to iron out all the procedure. I think if you want a fan base register enough, then we could definitely look at playing the games in a bigger venue like the stadium, and definitely we'll be playing on the lights. But you don't want to start out like that, because remember, everything is economics, so you want to make sure that you have the fan base registered in the system. Once you go up to like even 4,000, 5,000, then you could say, okay, it's time for us now to chance it and play, you know, in a bigger venue on the lights.
Okay, so when you register one time and your vaccination status is approved and stuff, if you want to go to the game again, you have to go through the same procedure?
No, you just buy a ticket now. So that is what they're trying to do.
yeah. Okay. Good question. Good questions. Those Man of Steel. Yeah. I think the final game of the week is a Dumbeholden game. I think we spoke about the Cavaliers game. Dumbeholden game is a team on a surge. I mean, playing some good football. I spoke to the manager this week. They go up against the speedy Arnett Gardens team. You understand? When I spoke to the manager out there this week at Dumbeholden, you know, he had some concerns about the transfer window and about, you know, who is eyeing his top players and what they would have to do to come and snatch them out of his hand. A whole lot of resources will be required. I don't know. I don't want to cast any aspersions, but I deduce from what he was saying that the eyes of Mount Pleasant may be looking into St. Catherine to find a player or two. But he's suggesting that
the truth is, Once you have a player under contract, nobody can take away the player if you don't want to sell it. I mean, you could just say no. So you see, it depends on how you approach the game, because the truth is, you couldn't come to Cavalier for a player if I don't want to release a player. I just tell you no. And there's nothing the player or the next club can do to get the player. So I don't think it's a big concern. If Don Bowling want to keep the player, they'll be able to keep the player.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We'll see. Just telling you what he said. They are saying that, what is this person saying? That is not Man of Steel. That is White Wall. The wall, the wall is not.
Must be the wall behind him.
Yeah, wall behind him. All right. So, yeah, man. So they go up against Arnett Gardens. We had Coach Eric earlier. Arnett Gardens, I mean, scoring goals. This is like the Arnett Gardens of old with Marvin Morgan and Kemal Malcolm, and when Fabian Reed was scoring goals, and Visional Harris and Wonka Nelson. This come like, this is Arnett, just excitement, just score. It's like they have found, a crop of players that can replicate that kind of play from Arnett Gardens. What do you make of this game, Mr. Speed? And then we'll come over to Brian.
So Arnett Gardens, as you said, they have scored 2 goals against Portmore, 2 goals against Cumberland, 2 goals against Veer, 3 goals against Mobe. The only team they have only scored 1 goal against is against Cavalier and Harborview. And those are the 2 games that they have not gotten full points. Well, against Cumberland it was also a drawn game. So they're pretty hot at the moment. It's just that in that list of clubs that they have played, there is no Mount Pleasant, there is no Waterhouse, and there is no Dunboyne. So you can see that their running will be difficult. So let's see. It's very difficult for you to decide that a team is very hot before the end of the first round, because it depends on who their opponents probably would have been up to the round 6. So they have 5 games to go, and they have some pretty tough customers in the next 5 games to go. So this will be their first big test against Dunboyne. And if they can get past this test and still score, the 2 goals that they have been scoring on average, then yes, definitely no, you'll have to say Arnett is here to stay and will be a force to reckon with. So they are going through the testing phase now. There will be Dunboyne. Of course, they have Molines, but then they have Mount Pleasant after that. So let's see what they can come up with.
Yeah.
Waterhouse. So let's see. They'll have Tivoli, Waterhouse, Mount Pleasant, Dunboyne. So they have the 3 leaders ahead of them to play. So let's see what they can come up with after that. And then that will be the test of Arnett Garden, if they are the real deal or not.
So who you're giving this one to? The second Galacticos, as you would call them in the league? Dunboyne?
Yeah, I think Dunboyne has always find a way to get the points. I mean, they are like a fortuitous against Tivoli the last time, but they have find a way to get the points. And when they come up against it and Waterhouse at them on the rock, they're able to find the equalizer late. It's a fighting team. It's a team that does exceptionally well. So, I mean, Arnett Garden cannot be underestimated either. But I think at the end of the day, Arnett Garden hasn't been able to keep anybody off the scoring card. They haven't been able to keep any team from scoring against them, and that I find is a little bit worrisome. If Dunboyne come with their best game, they can keep people from scoring against them, and that could be the difference. Because Arnett hasn't found a way to keep a clean sheet since the start of the season, so that could be a problem.
So you're going Dunboyne with the win?
Yeah, I would give Dunboyne, but only just.
Only just. All right. What say you, Brian?
Firstly, I think Dunboyne is one of those teams that always finds a way to score goals, especially with Bygrave. He has been very good for them this season. Arnett too has been good attacking wise. And Cephas, I think, is going to be a lot to handle. But the fact that Arnett hasn't been able to keep a clean sheet all season, and I think Dumby will score more than 2 goals. I'm going with Dumby to win by 2-1 because I think Arnett is good enough to score at least a goal.
Yeah. I think so. I think the Dumbeholen front men will give the young Arnett Garden defenders a hard time. I know they got Gerald Neal Jr. got red carded in the last game, so he's out. But they have Ezra Simpson and Cunningham and Earl. They have Ezra Simpson, I think Earl Simpson, the two Simpsons in that team. I just feel like right in the center of their defense, there's too much youth. They also have Ajuma Johnson who plays left back. He's not really a left back. He's a upfront man, but you figure that they don't have a lot of options out there. So I can see Dumbeholen winning this one, but it won't be an easy game because I think the pace of Arnett Garden. The other thing is that one of the better right backs in the league is Dumbeholen. He plays a Dumbeholen, good right back. Forgot his name.
Yeah, and they also have McCarthy in the middle of the park as well.
Yeah, but the right back at Dumbeholen has been very good. Yeah, and Demar Phillips has been playing well as well. I think that's his name in midfield. Very, very good player. Works really, really hard. So, I think it will be a good game. I would give Dumbeholen the edge because I like Bygrave the forward. He always finds a way, and I think this competition between him and the other players for scoring goals, it's making the whole thing a whole lot more competitive because Daniel Green scored a penalty for Mount Pleasant to go on 5 goals, and then when Dumbeholen got the penalty, Bygrave took it to go on 5 goals as well. So you kind of feel.
And Dumbeholen also has a player by the name of Dean Andre Thomas, who is a very good striker as well. I think the last time he played in the league, he was one of the leading goal scorers as well. So he's also a player to look out for.
Yeah. Mr. Speed, somebody was asking, well, 2 things. Let me just start. This guy named Marlon Allen. Very good player. I think he should have, a couple years ago at Ocherius High, this is Marlon Allen. He should have gone to Mount Pleasant. But, I mean, I watched him in a game at Draxall against Mount Pleasant. A couple of times he has come up against my team. We normally come out on the winning end. But always a very tricky customer. And I always thought that he was one of those youngsters that Mount Pleasant should have gotten. And I know that when Teagat was at Mount Pleasant, he wanted him there. And I think sometimes when teams have all of the stars, you miss out on the young talent. Because I really think this player is a good talent. Not a player that I'm very close to, but always watched him from his days at Ochi. Glad to see that Teagat has given him a chance at Arnett Gardens. And he has scored like 3 goals in 2 games. And so, I think he's 20 years old. Just turned 20. I mean, so good young prospect. Very fast, good on both feet. Very skillful and tricky, and has a knack for scoring goals. So looking forward to seeing more of him as the season progresses. But somebody was also asking Mr. Speed about Demar Rose, asking your thoughts on Demar Rose. Demar Rose plays for Portmore.
Correct. And he was a former Wolmer's boys standout. We did scout him. We thought he had all the attributes to be a very good player. I think the national team also gave him a call up to look at him.
He came on in the game in Peru.
Yeah, he was there in the last window.
That Demar Rose, yeah. So he has been an accomplished player. He's probably about 24, 25, but he's very experienced. He's one of those big name player. I think when he doesn't play for Portmore really suffer and struggle. He's probably the engine they have over there now at this particular point in time. So I expect Demar Rose to really. I think he's a quality player. I'm not sure about the position that Portmore has him playing, but they must know best. I thought he was more like a number 8, but then a lot of team. But then I see him playing more like either a 6 or a 10. So I think he was more like a 8. So, but he's a quality player. I think he's probably one of the best players in the Premier League right now. Last year at Portmore, when they had a lot more quality player, he was pulling the string in midfield and doing exceptionally well. So, So we should keep it up.
Yeah. What say you about him, Brian?
Yeah, man, he was a standout at the schoolboy football level. I think he played on those teams with Jason Wright and Amal Knight and some other Ulmans players. But he went to college, you know. I think he went to college for a few years, about 4 years, and then he came back. So I think that's one of the reasons why probably a lot of persons maybe forget him. But he's a good player. He's a really good player.
Yeah, there's a bunch of roses out at Portmore. Jahil, Demar, you understand me, is a team of roses. Mr. Speed, what is the plan for Citizen? You know that Mr. Speed was on the program, you know. I tell you sometime, but I'm going to put up the question because we're coming to an end. We have 4 minutes before wrap up. You know that Mr. Speed promised the people, you know, Brian, that he was going to come on the show to talk all things Jamaica football. You can ask him any question because he said when we're dealing with the JPL show, we want to deal with the JPL show. You know that I can count the amount of questions that were asked today, right? And so you see, but Mr. Speed, what is the plan for the U20 team and the
Coach's name. We're in the scouting process now to find all the players. The good thing about it, even Coach Paul is helping us to look at the players that are overseas. And Citizen,
Yeah.
I never said 7 players only from the diaspora or whatever you want to call it. I was very specific in what I said, and I can't bother repeat it. But
Yeah.
don't repeat that. I never said that. And guess what? We hear everybody that called me so far about the under 20 team, them don't have no passport. I'm not the parents. I'm not going to look any passport for any player. Go and get your passport and then you come. If you don't have a passport, how do I know that you're a Jamaican? I must leave my work and go back to Spanish Town. Go search up the database or search up to find out if you're a Jamaican, if your father is a Jamaican, and your mother, and your grandfather, and your great grandfather. I don't have any time for that, Citizen. So anybody that wants to play for the under 20 team,
Yeah.
please get your passport before you come because we don't have anybody here who is going to go and get a passport for you. Right? You don't want to commit any fraud, you must go and get your passport yourself. Then when you get your passport, you can say, I'm interested to play for Jamaica. Then we look at you. So Citizen,
You know what is funny? You know what is funny though? I just want to tell people a couple of things. You see, the female football team, Brian, I just learned this. From the U17, the U20, and the senior team, all the players playing overseas, they do everything to get their passport. I'm just saying, not say that this will be the case. I can tell you that. Even their parents came to Jamaica and get it done in short time. I'm going to give you an next example. You know that players like Dean Burton, Kevin Lisby, they sort out their son's passport to play for Jamaica or to be available for selection.
Correct.
I'm just saying, I'm just giving an example.
No. I am happy that you say that. And even for the under 17 girls, because I was there, when we have trials, they get their passport, they pay their fees, come down here to try out for the team. Their parents come with them or people come on vacation and just stay along so they can try out. On the male side, every time you get some message from somebody, oh, you can go to Pika for this person. I don't have any time for that. I don't work for the JPL to go to Pika. Go tell Pika what.
Yeah, man. You can
apply for your own passport before you turn up and say you want to represent Jamaica.
All right. So I want to put it to your people. Check anytime you see Jade Bailey. So I can call. There is a blonde playing in the Jamaica team. Annabelle Moore, Mia Mitchell, Avery Johnson. I can call name on top of name. Their parents flew to Jamaica to get their passports. In fact, I'm going to give you a joke. One of the players that I invited, right? Quality player, female. The only reason why she's not in the team is because they never sought out her passport. And you know what is funny? Nobody's complaining because the truth is that You can be helped, but you can get your passport still for real.
Manins, the reality is, you know, Manins, the
Go ahead.
reality is, especially at the youth level, it is your parents' responsibility to ensure that you have your documents needed to do anything, you know, birth certificate, passport, anything, you know. So it's just that, I mean, over time, we have been broken bad by persons who go out on a limb to assist persons to get their passport and stuff. And now it is seeming as if it's becoming a norm for persons to for federations to help persons to get passport. I mean, if you want a passport and you're a Jamaican, you go and get your passport. There's no there's no you're an adult, or if you're it is your parents' responsibility. If you have a child and you think that they are good enough to play international sport or to represent your country, then go and get your passport. It shouldn't be an issue.
So
or it shouldn't be a JFF problem.
When the people leave in Jamaica to go live in the diaspora, right? They all hustle and get their papers to go there. And now they're supposed to get the easiest one. They don't want to get the passport. They are saying, calling me, this man good, but him do have him passport. You see, even now, citizen, I don't get 7 players, as you say, or 2 players or 3 players who want to play for Jamaica on the under 20 team that don't born in Jamaica. So I'm just telling you that, citizen. So don't bother come trying and look at something here. So I don't get no request for nobody for 6, even the 6 player who want to come play with Jamaica. There's no request. And we have never ever had a case where we have more than enough persons who want to play for Jamaica and we don't take them. Never happen.
Yeah. All right. So people, listen, we have come to, Brian, you want anything else you want to add?
No, not necessarily. Just that I would encourage the persons to go out there. I mean, we have been crying out for fans to come to the games. We have 1,300 slots. I'd hope that the people go out there and fill up all these slots. And, you know, just follow the protocols that are there. And let's just have a safe event. And then going forward, you know, maybe this could be the start of something good.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Looking forward. I'll be out there. So looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, man, for sure. Well, Sunday. No, I know I won't see you on Sunday at 1 because you could be otherwise engaged.
But for the later game, I will be there.
Man. We'll link, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, man. And people, listen, I want to thank all of you because, you know, I'm always very grateful for the persons who tune in to discuss local football, right? Because it is very important that we and get other people. You see, a lot of the persons, it's one thing to criticize the thing and then you don't support it. Support it. You understand me? Come out behind the channel and stuff when we're talking about it and thing. You know, so we can discuss some other content. So come on the program when we're discussing the local football. Be a part of the discussion. Like the videos, share the videos and thing. Because this is how we help to promote and push the game. And so we continue to do this. So I always thank you all for your support. Yeah, man. Blessings, Brian. Thanks again for coming on. So all of you who stayed on for the time, really appreciate it because I know you had other things that you could have done, but we're here discussing some football, local football. Thank you again. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Thanks to all our sponsors, to Marcel Turner, for Coach Eric, Radar Makers, from Arnett Gardens, for Brian from Mount Pleasant, and from Mr. Speed. Yes, I also see Paul Christie in the group as well. But thank you so much. Hey, you know, say M&M. Me not want to say that. You know, say me I go try call you and say, me shock. I'm saying I'm not seeing or hearing from you, and I hear that you were on a break. You know, but good to have you back. So thanks to one and all. Everyone, blessings. Watch the game, people. Go to the games if you can. Have a good day. Until we meet again. I'm Managerial man. This was the JPL review and preview show with Managerial man and Rudolph Speed. You have yourself a great day. Until we meet again. Stay blessed and stay safe every day and every time.